Hello and welcome to part 2 of making something with my free vouchers from Michaels. This time I have Chenille Home Slim from Loops and Threads. It is 218 yards, 250 grams. It is listed as a super bulky number 6 with a recommendation of 8mm hook or 6.5mm knitting needles. With this one, I wanted to try to make a wearable, as the last one I did was scrubby, and I kind of wanted to do a little bit of something different. I thought the chenille would be nice and soft, and while not exactly what you would usually use to make a top, I figured I'd get a little creative and see what happened. So I just started with a long tail cast on because that's mostly what I do. It's what I'm most comfortable with and kind of my go-to at the end of the day. And as you can see, I really started doing the ribbing with English style knitting. I've traditionally always done English style knitting, but recently I've started to have my hands hurt a little bit when I do it. So part of this project, I decided to try teaching myself continental style, but I wasn't quite comfortable doing that yet on ribbing, having to go from knit to purl to knit to purl. But working in the round, it seemed like a nice opportunity to just really practice. definitely feels like you can see how awkward my little continental style knitting is. I'd like to think I've gotten a little bit better since filming this, but it's definitely nice to be able to know how to do both. And working in the round gave me a lot of opportunity to just get knit stitch after knit stitch and really start to feel comfortable with that. Unfortunately, I think I got a little bit too comfortable with it as I ended up having to go back and pull out part of the top. I had started to try to add length to a pattern I had been adapting, hoping to make it a little bit longer. And then, unfortunately, as I was trying to keep this to one ball, only what I could get with my free voucher, I ended up realizing I was going to run out of yarn. So I had to pull it back and make it the length that was recommended. And that leads to this wonderful section of frogging. So after frogging the project, I got back to work reconstructing it. Working with this chenille yarn, for me, chenille is fine to work with. It's nice and soft. I know it is not something everybody likes. I didn't have a lot of pilling or any sort of fuzz while I was working on it. And it was nice and cozy along my fingers as I was trying to work. It was nice and smooth for trying to learn a new style of knitting, and seemed to go pretty well as I was moving along. So while I did enjoy working with the chenille well enough, I'm not sure I would actually choose this for a top again. It was definitely a little bit thicker than I preferred, especially as something close to the skin, being a tank top. But for a free top, you really can't complain too much. If you want to try to use this yarn yourself, currently it's for $9.99 on Michael's site, or if you save up your rewards points, completely free.